company said, right, we're making her 50% redundant. I was getting more fails than Joe at the time, so we thought Joe might be able to stay in the job. And then the email come through in the morning and it was Joe's name. And then I looked and it was my name as well, and we were like, shit, we've got no job.
The biggest problem is always the next problem, because what was the biggest problem no more is. And if it comes again, it won't be a problem because I've been through the experience.
Up until now, how much would you say you've invested in yourself in terms of money-wise? Welcome back to my channel where we discuss property, business, lifestyle and well-being. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, then please hit the like and subscribe button.
There's not many property people or events in Liverpool, so for that one to be there, thought we can't not go really.
That's true, yeah. It's usually what I noticed is that when you go to the same events, it's like the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went to his black tie and then we done the speaking event.
Yeah.
Other than them, that was the only other one we've been to, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look, we met.
Yeah.
I know, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what it's there for, isn't it?
So,
exactly.
like, I met a few good people as well, and like for me, it's just about just getting people on and just sharing their stories, really. You know, and just hopefully help someone. And you know what? In 12 months, you might look back at it, because it's on YouTube. Even in 10 years, you look back at it. And be like, wow, we went there then, and then do a part 2, part 3. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's we done a podcast. Yeah, Bobby.
Oh, I look back and cringe.
Yeah.
How many podcasts have you done?
Not many, you know. We've done one. We've done 3 so far.
Really?
You know what, though, we've never done one in person.
No, we haven't.
And I much prefer it. Yeah.
In person?
This is the first one in person.
We've never done it. This is our first one.
So the rest have been on Zoom?
Yeah.
It's not the same?
It's not the same at all. It doesn't feel like a conversation because you're worrying about that person speaking and it not catching up. And
you feel like you've got to shout for the other person to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's not the same, is it?
Yeah, well, I'm more of a listener. So you guys will be doing the talking.
Okay.
But yeah, you know what? We'll just get right into it. So Joe and Olivia, both HMO power couple, from a little bit of research, right? So just, you can go, whoever can go first, really. Just introduce yourself to my audience and who you are and what you do.
So yeah, we're Joe and Liv, co-founders of Cozy Living, recently rebranded from Joe Property Group. Over 250 rooms we currently look after, HMO management company in Liverpool. Okay.
So over 250 rooms?
Yeah.
Break that down to me.
So HMOs obviously houses of multiple occupation.
Yeah.
So they're more like 6, 5, 4 bedrooms. So we've got 256 rooms in the city. So 256 individuals or groups of students all living together.
Got it. So for example, if it's like a 5-bedroom house, you'd class them as 5 rooms.
5 rooms.
Yeah. So like just like that accumulated to 250.
Yeah.
A lot of rooms, right?
Yeah, because we used to get, well, we still do, asked how many properties, and I think you can have 10 5-beds or 10 beds. So to give the number of rooms kind of put in a better picture.
Listen, 250 rooms sounds good as well.
Yeah.
I'd say the same. Do you know what I mean? So are they all high-end, or are they just like your standard HMOs? How just run me through like a little bit more in detail.
So
how you guys
we have
operate.
2 different like parts of the business, don't we? Rent to rent and managed. With the rent to rent, we have full control over exactly how they look because we're the ones that design them. But we do have managed properties now where we don't have full say, but we don't take on houses really, which are your bog standard HMOs. You know, we won't take anything that's in really bad condition where the landlord doesn't really care about the tenants or doesn't really care how it looks. We always take on something that fits our brand, and anything that doesn't, we kind of just, you know, say no to. But most of them are pretty high end, which is why I think doing it different to the way standard HMO people does it, I think that's why we've been able to grow as quickly as we have.
Yeah, I think we always wanted to be like the really high-end HMOs and only look after them, but I think commercially there's only a certain amount of the market that you can really have them properties, because at the same time, the ones that look amazing don't need as much management. Yeah. So it's the ones that kind of the middle ground that need good management to achieve the top rent, but anything less than that we just wouldn't take.
Yeah.
Well, that's a smart business model, really. So ideally, like an investor would come in, they would buy a property, turn it into a HMO, make it high end, and be like, Olivia and Joe, here you go, here's the keys, manage it for me.
Essentially,
Yeah. Or they'll come in and say, I've bought a house, don't know what to do with it, can you help? And that's when we do the project management of it,
Got it.
create it like our other ones, and then we'll manage
To a
it
high
for
spec.
them. Yeah.
yeah.
So when you mean like you'll manage it, you'll actually manage the day-to-day refurb and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can take it from needing a refurb or when it doesn't need a refurb, we've got a team that look after the properties, the tenants, the landlords, contractors, everything from everything pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically a hands-off investment for the landlords, because most of our landlords live overseas, don't they? So, you know, they're not here, they're not in the day-to-day of it all, and they don't, everyone says, oh, the headache, but for us, it's not a headache, we enjoy doing it, so
Yeah.
it's like win-win.
That's amazing, guys. So when did you start off? Like, you seem pretty young. So how old are you?
I'm 25 this month.
Well, we're
You're
both 24,
24 at the
both
moment,
24.
Okay, so you're both 24, like, still, in a way, still very young.
yeah.
When did you start off? Like, when did this all
Yeah.
start?
We were 21 and 22 at the time. It was COVID, May 2020. We were in lockdown, we'd been furloughed from our jobs, that's where we met. And basically we were just thought, you know, we've got this pot of cash, let's figure out what we can do with it. We spent lockdown basically researching everything about the model, didn't we, rent to rent, and we thought, you know, this works for us, this fits our circumstances, and we just went for it there, didn't we?
Yeah, it's funny though, because it started 3 years ago, but I actually think it started before that, when we were in jobs and we were listening to all the podcasts, all the books, and you were an estate agent, wasn't you?
Before.
So we put a lot of work in before we actually started the business.
That's where, you know what it is? That's where it really starts,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Because you've got to start
Definitely.
feeding your mind a little bit
Yeah.
with good stuff
Yeah.
before you take that step one and then gradually step
That's
2 and
it.
3, right?
Yeah.
So what jobs were you actually in?
So I left school and went straight into just a normal estate agents. Done an apprenticeship there, got kept on, and then after that we both then started a PPI job, which was basically just contracting. So it was quite brutal, really, wasn't it? It was very target driven. We were working 311.
Insurance stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah.
It was very target driven, and that's where we went to one job at first, and then we moved to another contracting job, and then we were furloughed from that when the lockdown hit, and then we got fired on the same day, didn't we?
Fired on the same
Yeah.
day.
But before that, the PPI job, it was good because it was a good way to earn money. There was a lot of overtime, so we were just working every single hour,
Yeah.
thinking at some point we'll know where to put the money. And obviously lockdown came, we had all that time, and we were like, well, now is the time to do something with the money. But it also taught us a lot that, you know, it was literally cutthroat. If you'd done the wrong thing, you were gone. So it kind of taught you things for business,
Drilled
didn't
that
it?
into us a little bit, didn't it? And we always knew, you know, we had it in us to just work hard because we'd done that in the job at the time. And then they said, right, okay, you know, laptops are coming home, you're all going to be furloughed.
Yeah.
So at this point then we got our first 10-bedroom house, which was so time consuming, wasn't it? People were saying, you know, get something smaller, don't do it. And we just went for it, but we were trying to manage the day-to-day job, hitting targets, as well as refurbish this whole 10-bedroom. And at the start, we'd done a lot ourselves, didn't we? So it was getting to 12 o'clock and we knew that cases had to go on the next day. So we were like, oh, it's okay, let's just put them through now and we'll do them at 1 a.m. when we get back to the house. It was like hitting 12, wasn't it? And we were like, oh my God, these cases, they were coming up, we were getting fails every single day. And then the company said, right, we're making 50% redundant. Like, that is it. And we thought, do you know what? I was getting more fails than Joe at the time, so we thought, Joe might be able to stay in the job. I'll go, I can just manage the property, you can stay in the job. And then the email come through in the morning and we were like this, and it was Joe's name, and we were like, oh my goodness. And then I looked and it was my name as well, and we were like, shit.
Oh, shit.
We've got no job. And obviously the income of that 1 10-bedroom wouldn't have been enough to cover both of our salaries, would it? But we thought, it's now or never. Like, it's either go back to a normal 9 to 5 job, or let's make this work. And that's what we done. And then the rest is history.
It's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes things happen, right?
Yeah.
And that was
absolutely.
it. Fuck it. You're like, we've got to just do it now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, did you get educated, or where did you go and get educated from?
So we had a mentor from day one.
Pay attention. I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've launched a 7-day free, total free audio course for you guys, which is going to help you improve and elevate your mindset, and it's also going to help you in your business. All you have to do is go and sign up every single day, day 1 to day 7. You will receive a free 2-minute audio from me in my own words, in my voice, and what that will do is help you in your business and your mindset. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it. Okay.
Someone called Katrina Jones. I don't think she actually does mentoring for Rent to Rent no more.
No.
But she was a massive help in the first 12 months, almost just giving us the push that we needed, and sometimes the confirmation that the ideas that we had were right, rather than just taking the step on our own. But it was a big confidence boost to actually go and get the first 5-10 houses, and then from then on, we got a new business coach, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it just continued from then. But I think that education side of things, it's 100%. You've got to do that.
It's essential, isn't it?
Yeah,
Got
I think
to.
whatever stage you're at. I mean, at first it was like how to get set up, but now it's different. You know, we've got an office, you know, we've got staff, and it's about like it gets bigger, and you always need that coach. Like no matter the size of the business, I always think having someone that's, you know, 5 steps ahead
Of course.
is so beneficial.
100%. Whoever's walked your path, and you know.
That's it. Yeah.
Because we don't get taught to do business, do we?
No.
So we have got to learn it somewhere, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay, so you invested into a mentor. So up until now, like so far, how much would you say you've invested in yourselves, like in terms of money-wise?
Oh, that's a hard one, isn't
That's
it? I've never
tough,
been
that.
asked that before.
I think currently, everything combined, I think it's more than £1,000 a month.
But
to
even
date.
before that, I mean, there's so many things like events and, you know, networking days and education days and things that we even invest in terms of like health and stuff like that. But everything we invest in is to benefit like the business ultimately, isn't it? Like no matter what we do, we're always thinking with the business in mind, and I think that's just essential if you want to succeed.
Yeah. So if you've spent £1,000 a month from like them, it's like you've spent over 30-40 grand really in mentoring and coaching, if you think about it.
I've
But you've
never even
10x
thought
that
of that.
if you think the knowledge and the information that you get.
Yeah.
So it's important really, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. So important.
I mean,
Sure.
since January I've already spent 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you know something more, you need to know that next bit now.
Exactly.
So how are you going to know that? You've got to find someone that knows that, and then you've got to pay more, and then it just doesn't stop.
And it
Sometimes-
doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't even feel like an expense. It's
No,
never
it's an
something that you
investment.
look at and think, you know, we could maybe cut this. You know, it's not even there. It's just a general day
It's
to
a
day.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
for our
Yeah,
business,
yeah.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have like a coaching side to your business as well? Or
Recently, we've just launched that side of things. We never used to, but about 2 weeks ago, we launched that we can start to coach people getting into rent to rent as well.
have to do that, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, I mean, you're already smart anyway. You've got the HMO side and you've got the management side. Bring the education side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if you're one step ahead of someone, like you can teach someone. So, and that will be really, really good. That's why you'll see the big money
Yeah, it
there.
feels new to us. Like we've not properly
Yeah.
gone into it yet, but
I think because we're humble as well, I almost felt like I didn't want people to think, you know, we're the know-it-alls. But
Yeah,
rent to rent has such a bad reputation because of how people do it, and we genuinely think the way we do it is so different to everyone else, and it's nice to actually help people, because there's a lot of things which we maybe thought that we wish we knew at the start before getting into it, that it's easy now for us to just tell people and help people.
No, you will get a little bit of, you know, whatever, but you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's big money in it. And look, no one's smarter than you guys. Like, and you're not smart. Everyone's just doing. They started somewhere. Everyone started somewhere.
Yeah.
So in 12 months, I want to see this
Yeah.
going. I'll make sure you do it. Okay, so what is cozy living? What
HMO
is-
management company.
Okay, so it's what did it used to be called, and then
It used to be called Joe Property Group, and essentially that was just a way of formalising ourselves
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
company's house, because we didn't want to spend days thinking about a name. We were like, we'll come to that. Let's just start the business, and it just felt like now is the time to actually have a brand. If we
Yeah.
want to scale and grow like this to the size that we do, we need a brand.
And I think Joe Property Group was very corporate, wasn't it? You know, and we're not that type of agent. You know, we don't turn up to the houses in suits and like
We turn up like this.
we
yeah.
turn up like this, and we're relatable with the housemates and the humans at the end of the day. They're not just pound signs. We're not just there to do an inspection on the property or check how they're looking after it. We're actually there because we care about how the house is and stuff like that. And we thought Joe Property Group doesn't represent who Joe and Liv are. Cozy living and everything about it. When we were going through it and picking the name, it does.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, we learned quite a lot going through the branding exercise with the branding agency that we used, and it kind of needs to say what we want to say face to face before we meet them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it does now.
I like that. I like the way you put it together and on certain things. It's everywhere now, isn't it?
That's it.
I like
your
it.
values and everything, just about it. It was just so more suited to us, and I think it's helped us define our values and actually represent the brand a lot more. Like now we've got this brand, it's like we've got to protect it, we've got to keep this level of service, and hopefully that continues.
Of course. So how big is your team actually, and what's everyone's roles?
So there's 4 of us, so obviously you've got me and Joe, and then you've got Maisie and Taylor, they're our portfolio managers.
Okay.
So
those 256 rooms essentially is divided, and they have a portfolio each. So they look after the full process, which kind of gives that relationship with the tenants, the landlords, and understanding the properties as well. So for future tenants and landlords, they know those properties inside out. So any issues, they're fully aware of.
Okay. So what's your role and your role?
So this is something which at the start we done everything together, but quickly we realised our time's better suited to split. You're more so acquiring new landlords, new business. You are, like Joe's really good at the project management side of it all, dealing with all the contractors. I'm more so operations, you would say, kind of being above Taylor and Maisie in terms of just making sure everything's running as it should be, keeping the houses, compliant, everything like that. And then, pretty much it's like a machine. You'll get the new house, pass it on to us, and then it gets passed on to the girls to manage. So
yeah, I kind of like spend all my time marketing, thinking of new ways to get landlords, having them meetings, signing the contracts, and then giving it over to you. But one of the reasons we've managed to get so many rooms so fast is because how fast you've managed to rent the rooms and how much we've managed to get for the rent. So our job now, or your job, is to make sure that the team can continue that through.
Yeah. So what do you use to let it out? Do you use spare room or do you use other?
Spare room mainly for your professionals. We use a company called Uni Homes for students. There's quite a few portals, but not any different to anyone else uses. It's more so, like I said before, being relatable. Turning up to me viewings and actually having a conversation with these people, and a lot of people have been like, oh, you're so friendly, like I can't wait to live in one of your houses, like the house is amazing. And it's not always just about what the house looks like. I actually think people buy into people, and if they meet a friendly person on the viewing who actually cares and is taking time for them, they could go and view next door, which is actually a nicer house, but the person who's showing them round doesn't really care. And I think that hugely matters, and it's just more so being about being on the ball with things, and I think that's why we've been able to fill them as quickly as we can, and every single year basically.
Good. So are you planning on having your own portal as well, like your own website?
I think at some point that could be an option. We've been to and fro when we were going through the new website, but for now we just wanted to get the rebrand out there, create the same website but with the new brand. I think long-term plans, that could be something that we think about, but it wouldn't be to service other landlords, it would be purely for our own portfolio.
It's like in business, it's like you learn things every day and you're just tweaking every time, aren't you, really?
Yes, I feel like that's a massive part of how we've ended up where we are today, is little pivots along the way is actually massive for the direction of the business long term.
It's like adapting, isn't it, to whatever situation or circumstance that you're in.
Yeah.
Able to adapt.
So, has your friends and family been supportive?
Yeah, I mean...
Have they?
No, they have.
He laughed like me. Oh, no, they haven't.
No, they definitely have. At the start, I think people were a bit cautious about us going into business together.
I'd say they've been supportive,
yeah,
but maybe not backed what we were doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think everyone gets that to an extent, don't they? Because they just don't want... They come from a good intention, though.
Yeah. It was more so about... We were in a really good job. It paid well, but it was lethal. You could literally... if they caught you taking a picture of the screen, or just like to help yourself out, or have your phone out, you literally walked out, like get your stuff out. It was so strict, but the pay was good, so we were always saving to do something with it. And I think when we first told people, right, we're going to spend everything that we've got on this business, people were like, no, don't. Like, do something else. Just buy a house that's safe.
Yeah.
I think that was the angle they were coming down from. And I think as well, going into business as a couple, people were like, don't do it. But we, since the minute we met sitting next to each other in training for a new job, we've worked together. Every single day of our life. So like, we almost don't know any different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as a couple, like, what are the challenges that you face, like, every day, or like I'm sure I remember when I was in a relationship with someone, and like it's not easy.
I think because we're so driven, we have very little off time, and we have now, because we're bigger and more busy, we have days where we don't know what happens in each other's day. So it's actually nice for them days to come home and like ask what happened in your day, even though it's the same business. Whereas in the past, it's been very much involved in every day. So we come home and we just continue the day.
Yeah, I think probably a downfall is it because we don't have any time when it's not work, but it doesn't really bother us because we love it. Like, we do try and not talk about it, and then we're both sat there like,
You end up talking about it.
Yeah, we don't know what else to talk
Yeah,
about.
but you're building an empire.
That's it. It doesn't bother us, does it? People go, oh, just have some chill time, like stop doing work, and we're like, we don't want that.
Yeah.
We'd actually not enjoy it.
I think when you're a couple, because you're both in that same business, there's no such thing as switch off.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just normal, that.
Yeah.
So have you like actually lost any like friends since you've had more success? Like some people that you've had to cut out because just too negative or anything like that, or?
No one we've had to cut out, but certainly at the start, I think we had to make a lot of sacrifices, and I think not having time for people was probably hard and tough on friendships, I'd probably say. But luckily we've managed to, get that back and stuff. But I think you almost, because you are so driven and you're so in it all the time and you're so busy, you almost forget that like the world's going round outside of what you're doing, and you forget how long it's been since you've seen each other, and you almost, because obviously everyone just sees things on social media and you're saying you haven't got no time, but then you're doing something else, and people kind of take the message the wrong way. But I think it's more so people understand now why we took them sacrifices.
Yeah, because maybe at the start, because people were thinking you shouldn't really put all your money into other people's properties, they probably didn't take it as serious as we were taking it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, we're clearly on the right path. People respect what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I had a lot of good attention now as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you won it? I've noticed that you won some awards. What's that?
Yeah.
That must have been a proud moment.
It was the HMO Awards last year. It was an award for Rent to Rent, the best master lease operator. That was a really big achievement. We were up against people who've been going for years, hadn't we? And I was sitting there in the room thinking, I don't know if we've got this. We've only been going for 2 years at the time. And then when they said our name, I was
I think at the time, we barely put anything out on social media or anything. And we were in the room looking at other people like, oh my God, there's that person, there's that person. And then when they said our name, we were like, oh my God. And then everyone was coming up to us afterwards, and we were just like overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
It was a good night.
And even now, people say, oh, I remember you in the HMO Awards. And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's still
So
surreal.
did you have to go on stage and do a talk and a speech?
You went up and got your award, and then you done a little speech afterwards.
Were you prepared for it?
No. Not at all. I think I just looked at you and thought you can do the talking.
I feel like I just wanted the
ground
ground to just swallow me up. All I could just see was bright lights, and I was just looking around.
Yeah. But you know what it is? When you get something like that, it's recognised. Like you get recognised, then it inspires you probably just to go more further now.
Yeah.
I think it was just confirmation that what we were doing was the right thing.
Yeah.
And we know what we do is rent to rent properly.
Yeah.
But for someone to award you, you kind of think, so we actually are doing what we should be doing.
Yeah. No, definitely. So how big do you actually want this company to go?
That's a scary question. We've never really spoke about this to anyone, to be honest, have we?
No.
Someone asked us recently, we were like, do we say?
I know.
Well, you've got 250 rooms, that's a lot. So
it's nowhere near where we want to be.
Yeah, we feel like we're barely just getting started.
Yeah.
I think to be the biggest HMO agency in Liverpool,
Yeah.
I think that's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
That's almost like phase 1 for us.
Yeah.
So what's the next target? 1,000 or?
I think step by step. So we'd like somewhere just shy of 500, maybe 18 months from now.
Yeah.
And then gradually increase. Because I think what we've done so far, it's almost been like we're here already, 250 staff, growing the team, learning that process. There's a lot going on behind the scenes now to build the foundations, so we've got the capacity to grow. Not just taking everything on and being like promising the world, but actually not being able to deliver. I think that actually being able to deliver part of things is what's going to be the foundation to continue growing from 500 rooms.
Because your infrastructure has to be right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to grow 10x than 2x.
I know, but we spoke to so many landlords of ours now who say, oh, that company were good, but then they just scaled. And that's almost
and
like...
they lost it, and that's our biggest fear.
Yeah.
You know, not having the team who can do it the way we do it, which is why now we've hired before we need somebody to make sure that, you know, they're up to speed with values and goals and exactly how we're doing it, so when we do get that influx of new houses, they can just take it in the strides, as opposed to bringing them in and then throwing them in at the deep ends, which one, wouldn't be fair, and two, your service just would slip.
Yeah, no, definitely. So do you like, so are you like always hiring, or are you actually thinking now we need to start hiring more people, or not yet?
I think we want to hire 2 or 3 more people within the next 12 months.
Yeah.
But we're aware, so we're not always hiring, but we're aware that that's coming. And we've got dates in mind when different positions will be required.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So when you hire someone, what's your process? Are they like coming on as an employee?
Yeah, absolutely. Straight away, full time. Apart from now, we do kind of think we maybe need someone part-time to do finance and stuff like that. You know, that's when roles might change, but up to now, it's been, you know, all in full-time, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, can't wait for that. That'll be good. So, like, what are some of the problems you are facing in the business today that you're struggling to deal with?
That's a tough question, that.
I know.
It could be anything small or big. It could just be doubt.
I feel like we're so positive, and we kind of love the problems. Like, sometimes you might have a problem and we'll stress about it for 10 minutes and then we're like, but we love this. I love this. Let's figure it out. I don't know.
I can't actually now.
I think that's what good entrepreneurs do, though.
Yeah.
Because every day we are kind of resolving problems, right?
Yeah.
So it's like always, oh, we'll figure that one out. We always find a creative way, right?
Yeah, and I feel like we've had problems, haven't we? And we've said whatever we've said for 10 minutes, and then it's like,
it's part of the journey.
I love this. Yeah, let's sort it. Let's sort it.
Like we just always say, it's part of the journey, because you look back and think the problem that we thought we had 12 months ago, I look and think now that's an absolute doddle to deal with. So I always think in my head now, when I've got a problem, just skip 12 months ahead. This problem will be nothing and it'll be solved.
Someone once recently asked me, what's our biggest problem we've had to date? And or what's the biggest problem? Similar question to what you just said. And I think the biggest problem is always the next problem. Because what was the biggest problem, no more is. And if it comes again, like, it won't be a problem because I've been through the experience. So the next problem is the one that I've not been through yet.
I like that. So are you currently happy with how much money you're currently making?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
I don't think we ever will. We'll always be striving for more. Not necessarily money, just more businesses, more. I don't know, I don't think there'll ever be a point
where... Money is important as well, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But no, I don't think we're nowhere near where we want to be.
So, bearing in mind that you come out of jobs, were you getting commission there as well? Or no? So like, were you on like, what, 20, 30k?
It was a day rate.
It was a day rate.
Yeah.
It was, and you could do overtime. And it's like some of the days that you could get, it was like 160,
if you were good at the job,
175 a day.
It was quite easy.
Not too bad.
To do more hours, and you needed to do an extra 5 hours for an extra day's pay. So you can imagine us just working.
So you could sometimes do an extra week in your week. So you'd be getting like sometimes 8. There were some months you could actually put like £6,000 or £7,000 through if you like.
And it was self-employed too.
It was self-employed, so obviously you paid less on that, and it was crazy, wasn't it? But you was always, it was like, right, okay, you've got a contract for 3 months, and at the end of the 3 months, people were like, is it going to be continued? And then they go, okay, another 3 months, and you always had that fear that they could go, right, the contract's up tomorrow. But we thought, well, you know, we're both living at home, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
If it ends tomorrow, it ends tomorrow. Let's just get as much savings behind us as we can, and we'll, at that point, we'll do something with it.
And that was kind of what happened with lockdown.
Yeah. And it was the best thing that ever happened, having so much time.
Yeah.
I know so many people that created businesses in lockdown.
Yeah, me too. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. So when you so as you fell into the business then, so what did you have a goal, like we want to hit 10k, 20k, 30k a month?
Nah, so at the time it was pretty simple. We want one rent to rent, and then we got one. It was like, right, we want two.
Yeah.
The intention was to only ever grow a rent to rent business.
Yeah.
But I think the first property was going through a sale. The guy who was buying it had another HMO. He gave us that one to manage, and at the time it was just cash flow. We were just saying for cash flow.
Yeah.
But it was after like 5 or 6 of them, we realised like everyone's asking us word of mouth. We're getting referrals. That's unusual in the HMO space. So, and we obviously only had like 5 or 6. We were young.
Yeah.
We were like, we clearly must be onto something. And when we kind of decided that the HMO agency would be the intention going forward, it just
made sense, didn't it? And at the start, we didn't really have, right, this is our target. We were just like, we obviously knew the more rent-to-rent deals and the more houses you took on, the more money the business was obviously making. But at the time, it was just kind of us doing it, and it was just a snowball effect that we didn't really look at the numbers. We knew it was coming in.
Yeah.
So we were going to be okay, and we were paying ourselves bare minimum at the time to keep it all in the business. And then now I think it's only when, you know, it's become like we've got an office and we've got a company car, we've got staff wages to pay for. It's almost then when we were like, right, okay, this is a target and this is what we're going to aim for. But at the time, we were just going and going. We didn't really look at that, did we?
Yeah. So what's your target now then? Like, what do you want to hit every month where you feel like you can breathe a little bit before you start thinking of the
Do you mean
next?
financially?
Yeah.
I don't think we think about it like that, do we? It's just more to do with, we've got a number of rooms we want by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And if we get that, every other goal will happen, because that's what drives the finances anyway. So
yeah, there's not like a set amount. It's more so, if we can get this many, we can do X,
This many.
Y, Z.
Yeah.
we kind of know the margins per room, so we know
Got it.
if we're able to achieve the goal for rooms,
Yeah.
everything else will happen anyway.
Will fall into place.
Yeah.
So how many rooms are you planning on hitting, or you're estimating to hit towards the end of this year?
We want to double. We wanted to double this year. That was our goals, which we
Which
set
will
new
be
year.
400.
Which will be 400 rooms.
Based on what we were on at the start of the year.
Got 7 months left, easy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't been able to market as well because
We've been waiting.
for the rebrand. We didn't want to introduce new people to
Yeah,
JO
yeah.
and then have
And
to
then say we've
reintroduce them to
changed our
Cozy.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business owner problems.
Yeah. Whereas now I feel like you said, we've built the foundation. Now we just keep saying like it's go time now. Like we know.
Yeah. Why don't you just open a YouTube channel?
We tried it, you know, but
Yeah.
I
Did
feel like I
yous?
want to. I feel like I'd enjoy it.
This might inspire you to do it.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know we should, because we almost feel like a lot of people go, well, I'd love to see like what you do day to day and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it's having the time as well, because sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like we can get drawn into doing that, and then we're like, hang on a minute, let's get new houses, like let's do what we're
That's
good
more
at.
important,
It pulls
isn't
us
it?
back
Yeah,
to that.
yeah.
But then if you could have that running alongside, I mean, it would be a good idea.
I kind of come to mum thinking this time next year will be a good time to start, but I think this time next year,
You'll
probably
have
look
more
back and be
problems.
like, what a journey that would have
Yeah.
been to get
To
on
get,
content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah.
look back now and think we've only just started really pushing social media and putting everything that we do out there. Whereas if we actually done that at the very start, when we were in the refurbs doing them ourselves, that would have been amazing to watch, wouldn't it? But
But you know what? It's hard because when you start it at the beginning, it doesn't pay you really.
no.
So you're spending time doing something which
Yeah.
is kind of not going to... It's going to pay you in the long run, but not right now.
Yeah,
So that's why people just don't do it.
I know. And I think at the start as well, a lot of people understand why you do it now. I feel like at the start, when you're first starting off, people think, oh, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? You almost have that embarrassment at the start.
I think that was a big
don't
worry
you?
for us at the beginning,
Yeah.
if we're being honest with it. Jumping on social media and stuff like that. Kind of, I don't know whether it's a Liverpool thing.
No, I think it's a worldwide
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, we definitely thought twice about a lot of things for that reason.
Yeah, we held back a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be because people are nosy. They're gonna know what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm not bothered about the hate thing, but it's just the other thing that, then you've got a certain standard which you have to keep up with.
Yeah.
And if you fail, then it's people will be like, oh, I told you so.
Yeah.
So all these things just come to your head, don't they?
Yeah.
It's mad.
But you got to just keep going, right?
I'm so happy that we've gone on social media now, though, and what we're doing now, we're putting out, even if it's next to nothing, what we're doing, it's opened up so many doors for us already. The opportunities we've got from just posting on Instagram pretty much and LinkedIn a little bit.
100%.
So are you regular with your posts now on social media?
We try to be. Yeah.
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 What are you doing, like 1 a day, or is it like 3 a week?
I think we've gone
1 a
through
week.
phases of being 1 a day, 3 a week, 1 every other day.
We're more so just when it feels right, aren't we?
Yeah.
When there's things, and obviously because we're both in it, we never want to feel like we're posting the exact same thing as well. But I think as the business is getting bigger, we've now got different roles. It's interesting for both people to follow the both of us and see that although we do the same business together, there's a lot of things we do different.
No, definitely. So since your business is cash flowing good, do you invest your money into anything else? Hey YouTube, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I have to share this with you. I want you to get to your next level, and I believe that personal development is the gateway to success. So what I've done is I've gone and created a 7-day free audio course. This is totally free. All you have to do is sign up, and from day 1 till day 7, every single day, you will receive a 2-minute audio from me, which will elevate your mindset and give you power in your business. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
We keep it more so in the business to be able to take on bigger, better deals and to always be ready to take on them rent-to-rent deals, because ultimately, you know, that's what brings in the highest amount of cash flow. But also as well, being a management company, you've got to leave buffer in there to be able to pay things on behalf of landlords and stuff. But I think we've always just been under the mindset that, you know, we do want to invest in HMOs long term and buy our own, but we've always just thought, well, let's just keep it in the business because the business is the main priority and it's there then for whatever we want to use it for.
We literally take out the minimum to
Really?
get by. And I think that's so important actually to grow the business. The first 5 years, it's just pure growth. So I think that's been and will be a big thing that we continue to do.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't expect that either. Like you'll get a lot of people who'll think that because you've got, you know, a high cash flow in business, that it ultimately means, you know, you've got, do you know what I'm
a lot of
trying-
money in the bank.
Yeah.
But I think it's not necessarily the right decision to have a lot of money in the bank, so that's why we leave it all in the business and just continue to reinvest every single month.
Yeah.
I think that's where business owners mess up.
Yeah.
Because they think,
Taking too
oh,
much
we've got
at
money
the
now.
start.
Yeah.
It's not their money.
Yeah.
You've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
You've got staff to pay.
Yeah,
That was
exactly,
it.
and there's a responsibility attached to it all as well now.
100%. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were saying, stop worrying too much about getting out of the trenches too quick. You know, like, we're only 3 years in. We don't need to be going, right, okay, I'm going to take the lion's share every single month and I'm going to go and live this life, because ultimately your business will just stay the size that it is. We don't want that. We want a whole bigger business.
Of course.
And that means us almost sacrificing a little bit and giving the business the benefit.
So what do you both argue over? Come on, be honest.
Do you know what's interesting? We don't argue, but a lot of decisions we make, I might make a financial decision, whereas you'll bring the human side out of it. So we often refer to it as like tenants, landlords, internally.
Yeah.
So we end up coming out with the perfect...
Because we get a bit of a middle ground, don't we?
Yeah, the perfect middle ground. So when now you go to the landlord or you go to the tenant, it's not one-sided, it's very much like an equal approach.
Yeah, but apart from that, we actually don't. We
Really?
really don't argue. And loads of people say, I don't know how you spend like we live together, work together, in the same business together. I don't know. We are lucky, but, well, are we lucky? I don't know. But I think, yeah, it's like everyone says, I don't know how you do it, but we do.
Well, that's good. At least you don't argue.
I know.
Then, right? Yeah, you're going to get argued as soon as you get out of it.
Don't follow us out with the camera.
Yeah.
So, are you planning on any holidays this year or anything like this, or for fun, or?
We're going away for a couple of days, aren't we, with your mum, just after my birthday. I went away for the weekend with my sister, my niece and my mum a couple of weeks ago. And then, I don't know, might do something at the end of the year. our busiest time is like June, July, because that's when all the students move out and move in.
Okay.
So we tend to go away around your birthday, don't we, in December?
Christmas
So,
times.
yeah, that's when it's the quietest. So, probably do something.
We don't like to, in business,
Plan.
we like to plan, but in our personal lives, we don't like to plan because we don't know when the business is going to need us. Whereas we might have a time where it's like next week it doesn't, next week's free, let's go next week.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it'll be for us this year.
That's it. And like you have like business, like moments in the business where we've had conversations with people who've got 100 rooms in the city. Like that's crazy. That's half the rooms we have in our whole business. And we're having these conversations, if he come in and gave us them rooms, or you might get a portfolio landlord who comes along and he's got loads of houses. That massively changes the business. It changes how busy you are, also changes how much cash flow brings in, which would obviously change what we take and stuff like that. And it's almost changing all the time. So we think, well, whenever the time's right, we'll just book and go somewhere. But I think if we were going anywhere, it'd probably be Dubai. We love it there.
I was going to ask, Dubai, yeah?
Yeah.
Love it, man.
How many
Love
times
it.
have you been?
Three.
Re-
4, I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where do you stay when you go up there?
The Jumeirah Beach Hotel. We've stayed there.
Yeah.
Is it nice?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. It's lovely.
It's because you've got access to all the other sister hotels on the front.
We love
Whereas
it,
I
don't
feel
we?
like Dubai is very much like hotel, restaurant in hotel. Whereas in
You
the
can walk down the
Jumeirahs,
beach there,
you can
can't
just
you?
have a stroll and go into any restaurant. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think as well with Dubai, it's one of them places, whenever we come back, we've got like the biggest drive ever, because I feel like it makes you feel so small when you go and you look at the life some people have and the cars and just like, you just love it. I think it just drives you to think, there's such bigger things out there.
Even the taxi drivers drive the guys there, right? So it does inspire you to just go that little bit extra. But it's a lot of things to do up there as well, isn't it? Like it's a lot of ladies' nights everywhere, right?
Yeah.
They've got pretty much whatever you need for any holiday.
Yeah.
So if people sometimes say to me, I won't like Dubai, I'm like, but what do you like about a holiday? It's got it in Dubai. So you will like it.
Yeah, I just love the food.
Yeah.
So nice food, yeah.
Have you been to Nusret's?
Nusret. Yeah.
That Salt Bay guy.
Yeah. So good.
The lamb and the beef, whatever it is.
The steak,
I've never tasted better like beef lamb
that
anywhere.
It's amazing.
It just melts in your mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
But it's expensive though,
Yeah,
right?
it's probably expensive.
Was he there when you went?
Yeah.
He was
both
there,
times.
yeah. So the first time he went, it was your birthday, wasn't it? So we were like, oh, sod it, let's get the gold steak,
Because he works on that section.
Yeah.
So everyone orders it, right?
So we were like, let's just get it. And then when he come over, he got a picture with us. And then I said, oh, it's his birthday. And he was like, I'll bring something out.
Yeah.
Brought this baklava out with a candle and everything. And at the end, I was laughing because he put it on the bill.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's nice of him. Thinking about my birthday, give me something.
How much was it? Like 500 quid?
It's like £120 for a piece of baklava like that.
Yeah.
With a candle in it. It was good though. It was worth it.
No, it's good, that place, that.
It is lovely.
Okay, well, listen, guys, anything you want to share before we close off? Like, how can people reach out to you? How can, what you offer? We'll put everything in the description anyway. But any last piece of, like, advice, information you want to give to anyone, the younger people listening that look up to you? Because there will be people that look up to you.
That's mad.
Oh, that's hard, isn't it? I think I'd probably say, looking at what I'd probably say to my younger self is, believe in yourself. Like I've said it before on a reel, I didn't get any grades to get into university at all, not even the grades to get into college. But I think it doesn't define you as a person. If you've got a strong mindset, if you've got determination, if you want something enough, be yourself, do it, and you will achieve it. That's
good.
what I'd
That's
say.
powerful. What about from yourself?
I don't know, but what I would probably say, something we say quite often, is kind of connect with the right people, but ask the right questions at the right time. A lot of people speak to people 5-10 years in advance, and they kind of just want to speak to them, but you need to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
We always say ask the right questions and you get the right answers. If you ask the wrong question, you're not going to get the answer you're looking for.
That's powerful. That's good. By the way, before we finish off, do you guys read any books?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like, how many have you read so far?
I mean, not many. We more so listen to,
Audiobooks.
I'd say, yeah, and podcasts as well. I mean, we don't sit in the car and listen to the radio or Apple Music. We listen to business podcasts, you know, at every stage that we are in life. We'll listen, like at the moment, a massive part for us is like recruiting and staff and everything like that. And I'm reading the Start With Why book, which is by Simon Sinek. And we've actually just bought a load of books, haven't we, about leaders and about leadership, because we almost feel wherever we are in life, we'll always get a book which relates to exactly what we need help with. We listen to podcasts, and I think just listening to successful people, you know, we don't even watch telly. I couldn't even tell you, like I have to say to Joe the other day, I think there's something on, would you even tell me how to get the guides up on the remote, because all we watch is YouTube, podcasts, and like, you know, the Stephen Bartlett one and stuff like that, to just inspire ourselves and help us.
Even little life hacks, you know, like every podcast and book we used to listen to would be on 2 speed, and like just to get through more quickly, we had to probably slow it down to actually not go crazy, do you know what I mean? Listening to like life at 100 miles an hour. And now we've started to watch podcasts, because what you can take away on body language and how people interact with each other, rather than just listening to it, taking things that one step further, and actually being able to take so much more than what someone else might just watch and listen to what's going on. We're watching as well and seeing where different things are in the room, how they're looking, where they're looking, how they're talking to each other.
It's even like we don't even watch the news or nothing negative like that at all. We just think, you know, why fill your brain with stuff that you don't really need to listen to? Fill it with positivity and fill it with people who you aspire to be like.
Well, that's so good, because that's what it's all about. So if somebody's just starting off, what book would you say just read first?
One of the first books I read, and I still revisit sometimes, is The Magic of Thinking Big.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good, that book, for people. It is for beginners. If you're advanced and you don't necessarily need the motivation, I wouldn't read it, but sometimes just getting back to basics and understanding the magic of thinking big. Think 10 times, 100 times bigger than get me first house, get me second house. I can't do this is a risk. Just think big, life's short.
Yeah.
That's a boss book.
What about for you?
I loved Happy Sexy Millionaire by Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, Stephen Bartlett.
That was an amazing book. That was really, really good. I almost read it, finished it, and then read the first half again, just so it sunk in. But that's a really good book. He's amazing, isn't he? It's just everything he says and everything he talks about is just.
What's your relationship like with your health and gym?
Every day, non-negotiable.
Really?
Even down to like, we pay £30 a month for the Whoop band that you've got on.
What's that?
Absolute game changer. Like,
it's a bit like an Apple Watch, but it's not connected to your phone, nothing like that. It's just pure health, but it tells you your calories, you know, your HRV, your sleep performance, and it just shows, you know, even if you have like 1 or 2 drinks the night before, it massively affects how you are, and like just productivity in it. It's just ways of improving your health and having better sleep and all stuff like that.
The founder of the company said it's about measuring what you do outside of the gym, not what you do inside the gym. So the other, like 22 hours of the day, that's the most important thing to measure, not the 2 hours of training. And I think for us, we kind of like treat the business like being an athlete. Making sure that we're ready to perform every single day in work. That's like so important for us, isn't it?
And don't get me wrong, there are some days where we don't go to the gym because we're so busy and we think the gym is not really important if we've got really important meetings or we've got a deadline that we need to hit. But we always make sure that like we do things, you know, ideally doing like a really hard workout in the morning, having a freezing cold shower, because if you make that really hard, you know, everything else that's going to come in the day that's hard won't be as hard as putting your head onto that freezing cold shower.
Do you do that? Yeah, cold shower every morning?
Try.
Not every morning. Most mornings.
Yeah,
sometimes it's a little dip, but...
a little dip. Just your hands.
Just your toe.
Well, listen, guys, look, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. And,
thank you for having us.
I know, thank you.
All the best for everything that you do. And we'll get you back on part 2 in 12 months and see how your journey's going.
Thank you.
Fab.
So thank you.
Thank you.
You too.